High school. Here's Anthony. He wanted to do something different and unique for his girl, to ask her to go to the prom. So here's what he did for months. He would bring backpack full of miniature Rubik's cubes and spend an hour every day working on what turned out to be a portrait of his girlfriend made out of Rubik's cube. And there was 600 of them?
Oh, there were a ton of them. I don't even know how he came up with the concept and how he designed it. I mean, this guy is genius off the charts kind of stuff, because the portrait that he ended up making with the Rubik's cubes looks exactly like a picture of her.
Yes, her name's Shelby. And so it was Valentine's Day. He reveals the portrait. It's at his school. She looks at it, and he wants to ask her to go to the prom, of course. Man, the answer, I was shocked.
The answer
Heard,
was,
right?
Yes, I did. Maybe I heard something different than you.
Oh, no, she said yes.
Oh, yes, she did. If she didn't, can you imagine? I can't imagine. This guy started the process well before Christmas. So he has the idea. He has to formulate the plan. He has to put it all together. And then on Valentine's Day, which is already, 3 months early, because the prom's not even till May. She hadn't even thought about getting a dress yet.
Right. So Scott, he was one of the popular guys in high school. How'd you act, Scott?
Popular? No, I wasn't. I didn't go to my prom.
What? Why?
I was just really shy. There was a girl I liked. I was too shy to really ask her out. You look back in life, and is there something you wish you had done differently? I wish I had gone to my prom, but I never did.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I went, but I was on the decorating committee, so that's the only reason I went.
Yeah, I could see that. I see Liz on the decorating committee. Okay.
Wait a minute,
What's the theme?
Oh, it was something night, Starry Night or something the first year. I don't even know.
That's Van Gogh, right? Starry Night?
I think, you know what? Look at you. Look at you pulling out the art reference. Hey.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
The stories of the proms, because the promposals are beginning to happen. It's Rob and Lizz, his radio. What about you, Liz?
About promposals?
No.
My son did one or two. I can't remember now. One of them, oh my goodness, it was like a fish in a bowl. And I can't remember the line. It was something about, I don't even know.
You have me hooked?
Something like that. I don't know. I've got you on the line. I don't know.
So he literally had a fish in a bowl?
He did, and he gifted her with the fish. Yeah, and so, but he was not one of these pre-planners. It was more like week of or two. They had already discussed they were going, but he knew he needed to do a promposal to make her happy.
Oh, so he made it official.
Exactly.
I get that. Okay. So Jordan's here at 800-447-7234. What about your prom?
Pretty much my junior prom was the only prom I was able to go to. It was absolutely amazing, everything you could have dreamed and hoped for. But my senior prom, I was dating a guy at the time who didn't go to my school.
Okay.
And he didn't necessarily want to go to prom, so I made the decision to go with a bunch of my girlfriends. The day of my prom, I went, I got my hair done, my nails are done, everything is to the T. And my boyfriend stopped by my house when I wasn't home at the time and stole my prom dress.
Get out.
So I didn't know about it. I come home, I get everyone ready. Everyone's, at my house, and okay, I'm going to go get dressed, get ready, and I can't find my dress.
And he has it. What?
Oh my goodness.
I could just see Mama Liz and what she would do.
Oh, I would get in my car. There'd be a couple of stops on my route. Let me just work this out for you. So I'm going to go get my baby a dress. First of all, I'm going to make that happen. And then I'm going to go have a talk with his mama.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Just a talk. We're just going to talk.
Just a little talk. That's all they're going to do.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
I really thought I was going to bring some knowledge that Liz would be just absolutely amazed by, because I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a cook.
Okay, but I thought this was things like revolutionary that we couldn't do.
I burn toast. Burn toast. I thought this was going to just blow Liz away, because I found some things that you shouldn't do when you cook.
Okay, what are they? Lay 'em
These
on
are
us.
things that she thinks this is going to be amazing. And when I thought I bring this to the table, and I'm thinking, no,
Okay.
this is not, no. I thought this would just like blow people's minds. No, because okay, cooking mistakes. All right, cooking mistakes. And I'm not one that lands, a bunch of knowledge on people because I'm not smart up there. All right.
Goodness.
So cooking mistakes that you should never make. I thought this is really going to blow Liz's mind because she bakes, she cooks, she's amazing. She does this stuff. She'll think that, wow, this guy's been in the kitchen.
Well, what is it?
Well, one is make sure the dishwasher's not full. It's empty.
Before you start cooking?
I guess. I don't know. Make sure your knives are not dull.
Okay.
Have a garbage station.
All right.
Uh-huh. A cutting board.
Yeah.
And label stuff before you put them in the freezer. That was the knowledge. I thought I was going to have some kind of cooking revelation. And then Liz would be like, oh, and the angels would come out. The Hallelujah chorus was going to begin. And that was nothing. I'm like, I don't have anything to share.
Look, I'm going to agree. I'm agree.
Thank you.
There was nothing there.
Right?
Because, if you cook it at all, maybe the only one is to have a garbage station. If you have and I learned that from Rachel Ray, years ago. You have a bowl and everything, all your garbage goes in that. If I'm baking, I've got a cake mix box that I'm putting everything in or some other ingredient box. That's the only one that was not something we already knew.
Okay.
Maybe.
Scott's got one about garbage disposals. This might blow your mind.
Yeah, don't drop Lego minifigs in a garbage disposal like my son did.
Minifigs.
The little minifigures. They call them minifigs.
I thought they had Lego figs now, like fig tree. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What in the world?
Little minifigures, so they call them minifigs. My son taught me the hip lingo for Lego, so that's the minifig.
Yeah, it's not a new herb.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
What's the cheapest you've seen eggs so far?
Well, I guess for 18, which is, I usually get 36. So 18 I've seen for about $5. Whew.
$2. $2.
Where?
$2. It was a couple. It was what, last week, day after Valentine's. It was $2 at a Walmart, I think in Kentucky.
So I got to drive a little bit to get this safe.
Not anymore. It was only like a day, and they're gone. I mean, can you imagine? People start posting that the eggs are $2 at this one Walmart, and somebody said, I think it's because they were close to expiring.
Oh, well, I mean, that makes sense. But if you bake a lot, you're probably going to use them up. And I always go a week after with eggs. So
A week after.
yeah, just a week. I don't go any farther than that because I can give you a little rumbly and you tumbly.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
It is Rob and Liz in the morning. This is his radio.
So I think one of the most biggest joys in a dog's life when they're in the car is to have their head out the window.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
The tongue is flapping in the wind. The ears are back. It's amazing. It's like a piece of heaven for a dog with their head out the window. I don't know if you heard, but there's a senator in Florida that's trying to make it illegal.
Huh?
For dogs to have their head out the window.
Why?
Yeah.
Is it a protection or?
It's a protection. It's a distraction. It's all these things that he's saying. But bottom line is he wants it illegal. And if the bill passes, because it's not law, I don't know if it will be, but if it passes, then they will have to be, if there's a dog, a pet in your car, there has to be a harness or a pet seat belt while traveling in the car.
So it's to protect the baby. Okay. I thought he was upset because he was getting spit on the windshield.
No.
Okay.
No, I know Scott has thoughts.
I worry, though. I don't have a problem with the dogs hanging out the window, but I worry when I see dogs sitting in the laps of drivers because, you wouldn't put your baby up there, so why would you put your fur baby up there? I worry if there's a crash, that's my thing.
You just took me to school a little bit, but because I see where you're coming from, but at the same time, I like to keep my baby in my lap when I'm driving.
Liz with her smaller dogs, because Ace, You would have
Yes.
Ace in your lap when you're driving down the road.
I did. My little AC, he passed away last year. But yes, when we would go out for a puppuccino, he would sit in my lap. And if I was wearing a necklace, he was the cutest thing. He would put his little face in the necklace and just go to sleep.
Do you hear how she just turned the dog into a diva? A puppuccino?
Listen, that dog was such a diva. He was an old curmudgeon, but he was such a diva. He liked a puppuccino in the morning. He liked a latte at night. I'm just kidding.
Look at this.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
In Missouri, you may have seen this. All Creation Northview Holiness Family Church. I have to say that slow or I'll mess it up. Allview, Northview. See, I already did. All Creation Northview Holiness Family Church there in Missouri. And all of a sudden, during the service, there were about 4 or 5 guys that walk in and they go and they sit down in the back and the pastor's up and he's preaching and he notices because he was a cop before he was a pastor. And he's like, I know what's going on here, because he noticed that the waistbands were just, there's something there. And they were
bulky.
guns. Yeah, a little bulky. And he's like, this could go really wrong. But he knew what he was doing. Somehow, while he was up there, he was able to get his cell phone out, get 911 on. But he's not talking to 911. He's still doing his sermon. 54 minutes later, the pastor starts walking towards those guys. And he's like, God brought you here today for a reason. I'm paraphrasing what he's saying. But he's like, God brought you here. He said, and I praise God that God sent them here. Mm-hmm. And the church lays hands on them and prays for them.
Absolutely. One of the guys at the beginning of the prayer, even, he drops his weapon that he had. They were there to rob or, who knows what to the congregation. But when the pastor, and I love if you can see the video, you can see him just kind of making his way. He didn't freak out. Thankfully, he had this training as a police officer. He didn't freak out at all. He's just walking towards them really kind of nonchalant, as sometimes pastors come down off the podium and walk within the congregation. And so they really didn't know what was up.
Until he gets over there.
Yep.
And he's praying and he's loving on them. And it's all Jesus to these guys. And it's like, oh, my word. I mean, if ever God shows up in something like that, he did. I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. The pastor was sharp. He knew what he was doing. They prayed for them. And look what the power of prayer did. Those guys went in there for a different reason. But God was like, you came to my house. Now I'm going to love you.
Yeah, and now you're leaving with Jesus.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Okay, there is a toilet that was found that's fairly old, but let me tell you about it. First of all, what they found was like a bent flush pipe. They think it was in full working order. They think it came from some sort of palace, and it could have belonged to a high-ranking official in China.
Okay.
2,400 years old. I had no idea.
A
No idea.
2,400-year-old toilet?
Yeah, they're saying they think it's from somewhere like 475 to 200 BC. That's an old potty.
BC. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
Before Christ, right? Okay. So what they're
Oh,
saying
is that what
is,
that means? Oh, I had no idea.
sorry, it was for emphasis. So they're saying that this highfalutin guy or person or family had one of the only potties, like in the house potties in the world.
Wow, my life is so enriched for knowing this.
Okay, here's the next step. This is going to blow your mind. You ready? You better hold on.
Okay.
There's an excavation team that is going to take samples from inside the potty to see what these people
Okay,
eat.
now a breakfast. Okay, stop.
I'm just telling
Wow.
you. They're going to take
I
samples.
think Scott's going to have reflux. I mean, gag reflux.
Can you imagine being on this team? Hey, I found the plunger.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
So I don't know if you noticed, but Mark Wahlberg, the actor, okay? You got Danny. I don't know, wait, his name's not Danny. Is it Danny?
No. Yeah, Donnie.
Donnie, that's it. He's Danny in Blue Bloods. Sorry. I watch Blue Bloods now. So he's Danny in Blue Bloods. So you've got Donnie Wahlberg, Mark Wahlberg. They got the burger joint, actors, all this other stuff. So Mark's on the Today Show, just a couple of days ago on Wednesday. And he shows up and people are like, what's that on his head? Well, he's a Catholic and it was Ash Wednesday. And so the cross of the ashes were on his head. He just went, he got, he started the first day of Lent. He shows up at the Today Show. They're like, you got something on your head there, dude. It's like
don't wipe it off.
No, did wipe that off. And he's like, listen, when it comes to my faith, I don't deny it. And I'm not going to jam it down anybody's throat, but I'm never going to deny my faith. And that's even a bigger sin. This is what Mark says. And he went on and said, it's not popular in my industry. And how true, right? I mean, he's an actor. But he said, I cannot deny my faith. It's important for me to share that with people. And he does. I mean, he's on the Hallow app and all that other stuff that you see him promoting on social media and things like that. And it encouraged me and challenged me, like, am I bold enough that no matter where I am, I'm not going to deny my faith in Christ? I just can't. Am I that bold enough in mixed company in things that I probably don't agree with? Am I going to go in the back corner and just kind of go, oh, no, whatever? Or am I just going to not deny my faith? Just like Mark said, I'm not going to shove it down your throat, but I'm certainly not going to deny it.
But he also went on to say that he loves people where they are, even if they have ideology or, thoughts that are different than his. He said, I'm just going to love on them so I can show them the love of Christ. He's also not just talking about it, but there's certain things that he's done in his life over like the last even year. He moved his family out of Hollywood, out of LA, which is where, most of his work happens, but he moved them out because of those influences. And he didn't want those influences to be part of his family's life. I think they're living in the Midwest or something like that now.
Yeah.
On a farm.
Out with horses and cows.
Yeah.
How nice is that, and see the nice range and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But personally, I take that and I look at that, and do I agree with everything that Mark Wahlberg does? No, not necessarily. Nope. But I certainly respect the fact that he's not denying his faith, and it challenges me that no matter where I am, I'm just going to be who I am in Christ and not put on a mask and not do anything else. I'm just gonna live and not deny,
Gonna live who I am for who I want to.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
I don't know if you caught this, but I think Liz just made one of the best quotes ever.
It's profound.
Mm-hmm.
Profound.
Very, very profound. Now, this was just moments ago. And let me just play it because I think it really speaks for itself. This 5 minutes ago. And I think that this is going to be a quote. You'll see this in Hobby Lobby. You'll see this posted all over social media with those fancy little memes and stuff like that.
Oh, I don't like you sometimes.
This is a quote. This is a quote from Liz Riles. Here's what she said.
Gonna live who I am for who I want to.
Okay. I'm gonna live. What was it? Let me do it again.
Gonna live who I am for who I want to. And you have to say it like that, like you have no idea the words that are coming out of your mouth.
I'm gonna live who I am for
who I want
to.
Scott's writing it down. Are you gonna go home and cross stitch that? Because I think it should be something on your wall.
What do you think, Scott?
I'm just making sure I got it written down. Can you say that one more time?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Get the original.
Here's the original. 5 minutes ago.
Gonna live who I am for who I want to.
No.
Am I being gagged up out?
What are you saying?
Drafts later.
What? What'd you
Where are
say?
you going with that?
It's printed out and with Liz's, autograph on it. And
Right, I could. I think I was trying to say live my beliefs, and then I got stuck in my head, and it's early, and I haven't had my breakfast, and
Be a hashtag. I'm off of social media for 40 days. I still want to go back on just for the hashtag. It's
gonna live who I am for who I want to. No, the hashtag is #preach.
No, it's
Preach, girl.
Gonna live who I am for who I want to.
But when you,
to be for.
well, yeah, when you read it, it may not come over.
Okay. I got it one more time.
Gonna live who I am for who I want.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
I'm deeply touched.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Are these things edible? I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
Because
goodness, no.
They're Peeps.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's that time of year. Peeps is a thing this time of year.
Yeah, no, it's not edible at all. At least I don't think so. I hope not, because you're going to be walking on them. It's Peeps sandals.
So why aren't they edible if they're Peeps?
Well, they're not made of Peeps. They're Peeps inspired.
Oh.
Okay, and they are so cute. They really, really are.
Really?
Yeah, they're almost like, when I look at them, it looks like jelly shoes. Anybody from the 90s on knows what jelly shoes are.
Jelly shoes.
Yeah, so jelly shoes, they were like a pliable plastic, and everybody had the sandals or the little slip-ons or whatever. So that's what it looks like to me. They've got a sole. It's like the little strappy kind of sandal. So they come in Peeps colors. So you can get like the really vibrant yellow, the blue. So think of the colors of the Peeps, and that's the color of the sandals.
Wear those things with those bright colors.
Anything in the spring. Spring is all about the bright colors. I mean, when you go to church on Easter and you got that dress and that hat and that thing going on.
And your Peeps?
And you can put your Peeps sandals on, but they are expensive to me
Oh.
for what they are.
How much?
$59
For sandals?
for jelly sandals. You know, $59. I mean, that's actually probably about right for.
So the Peep sandals are $59.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're available now. I mean, they're at all the big stores, you know, whatever, but
Sound like a commercial. And
I
they're
know.
available now.
I know, but I just don't know how long you'll wear them, because I think once Easter comes and goes, then the novelty of being a Peep sandal kind of wears off.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Not that I never wear the things.
Yeah. I don't like Peeps at all. Oh, they're so disgusting. But the sandals, you know, they're cute.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
You are going to love Nikki and Isabel. They are twins, and they are the first ever twin characters for the American Girl dolls. And what I love is, if you're a 90s kid, you are going to be all about these dolls, because there's one that is really preppy, and then there's one that is more dressed like a grunge girl. So it's very cute.
And this is in the 90s.
Yes. So the little preppy one, she's got like a beret, and then she's got pink sunglasses, a clear backpack that all the kids wore like in the 90s or whatever. And then the grunge little girl has a flannel shirt. She's got her Converse on, you know, so it's that kind of thing. And that is so indicative of the 90s.
Yeah, the whole American Girl thing, because my daughter was into that when she was just a little girl. I can't remember the name of her American Girl doll, but I think it was from the 40s.
Oh, and I love that. Usually, isn't there like a story that goes along
Oh,
with
yeah.
the American Girl doll, and sometimes it's someone in history that it's kind of based off of?
Yeah. Scott has a daughter, and I don't know about the American Girl for her.
You know, she's a teenager now, but when she was little, my wife was so excited right after she was born. She gets to share the love of dolls that she had with my daughter. And so she bought her a few, put them in the room, and she came to her later in a little sweet voice and says, "Mommy, they're looking at me." So she's never really gotten into the doll thing.
So she was scared of the dolls?
Scared of the dolls because they were looking at her.
Oh my
Poor thing.
goodness. I can see that though, because if they are set up around your room, it can be, if you have a wild imagination, be a little freaky.
Yeah. Took my wife a little while to get over that because of the buildup, the excitement to, you know, to have that dolls love with her. And so, yeah, now they just do other things.